This town is Itineo in southern Germany. It is the home of Dethleffs, and this is the Dethleffs showroom. And the vehicle I have in front of me is the Globebus 1.7. It's a very large van, at least it seems that from here, but it's an optical illusion because it's only 694 centimeters long and 219 wide. It seems much wider. In fact, lots of it seems to be an optical illusion. I'm going to start off at the garage because as I stood here earlier, I thought that this was wider than it is deep, but it isn't. Okay, the door is there, 950 millimeters in width and 1 meter in depth. Garage easily big enough to get 2 bicycles in there. And while we're in the garage, we can see got a queen bed up there, which is height changeable, too high or too low, take your pick. You can move it up or down as you wish. There you've got the Hymer boiler, and there is the cold water tap release, so you get rid of all the water which is in the system when you put it away for winter storage. Now coming in, we've got a bit more details here which will tell you the bad news. Of course, it's 80,000 euros, which is, I think, less than some of its competitors, and its payload is 368 kilos. Its height is 281. So you can drive this vehicle on a normal car license with it being under 3.2 tons. Now we have the bed above the driving position. As always, my advice is, if there's only 2 of you, don't bother with an additional bed. If there's more than 2 of you, or if you don't want to sleep with your partner, well, in that case you're going to need it. The problem is this: as I walk down here now, I'm standing, and at this point I have to bend, and now I'm sitting. Let's have a look at the driving position though. Hard to believe that with all this space in front, it's only 219 centimeters in width. It looks enormous from here. Optical illusion. So as you can see, it's on a Fiat Ducato 6-speed gearbox. Coming back round, first thing I'll mention is this bench here, which I think is a complete waste of time. I would get rid of that. I think that's unnecessary clutter. We have an L shape around the table. Table, incidentally, which can be extended should that be so necessary. Coming in here into the kitchen, we have behind me, there is a long, thin fridge from Thetford. Very sensible to put a thin fridge in because it gives so much more room for other things, although as always I say you don't need all that space in your fridge. Probably don't need all that much space in the fridge. Get a smaller fridge. Bigger fridge takes more gas, and at the same time it means there's less space for storage of other things. Now I mentioned this seat here, which I consider to be a waste of time. You do have storage under it, but all the same I still think you'd be better off with just space there. You know, nothing wrong with having space in the van. It gives the impression that there's more room, although this is doing very well with giving the impression of space as it is. So let's come into the bedroom. You've got this enormous bed here, which, as I mentioned earlier, its position can be changed if necessary. You've got hanging space on either side of the bed. Shower and toilet are separate, and of course as always, the door will close like that. You have a sensible sliding door around the shower, should you need it. And if you're going to use the toilet, obviously you'd want to close the door in that direction. What I like about this van is its size. I think 650 to 700 centimeters is the ideal length for a vehicle. There's plenty of room here to live in. I think this will make a good van for a full-timer. It is also, at that length, it's still relatively easy to park. I mean, it's all comparative, of course, but it's still without too many problems. I know you're going to say, yeah, well, that's bigger than a normal parking space. Yes, it is. But, you know, we can't build motorhomes the same size as cars and still have some room to move about inside. So, on the whole, I quite like this van.